Richard Marles was on your program on Sunday, so the Defence Minister and Deputy PM was saying more information would be released in terms of his flights, the flights he's taken within his role since coming into government.
Yeah, they care about transparency in opposition, but they never care in government, do they? So on Sunday agenda, Richard Marles, the Deputy PM, the Defence Minister, said he would release as much information as he could on $3.6 million worth of VIP flights he took and authorised. And he was talking about his response to a Senate order due this week. Will you be releasing details of where you've spent the $3.6 million to the Senate?
We're keen, as we always have been, to release as much information as possible within the bounds of the national security advice.
Will you release that information, or will the advice give you cover not to release all that information?
We will release as much information as we can within the bounds of the national security advice.
Felt like a rhetorical question, the second one, didn't it? Because when it came to the release of these documents, Richard Marles yesterday released this letter to the Senate saying, while it would not be appropriate to reveal the security advice of agencies, the evolving threat environment has prompted concerns about the public release of, quote, pattern of life data for parliamentarians, their families and staff that is of interest to adversaries as well as a risk to their physical safety. So to translate that, he doesn't want to release them because if you know where he's flying all the time, he might be in danger. He goes on, the Australian Federal Police advised me of concerns in November 2022 about the level of reporting in the schedules. At my direction, Defence worked with the AFP and security agencies to develop advice on updating the guidelines around what they disclose on parliamentary travel, taking into account these security concerns. So he released that letter and the same information that had come out previously in an FOI David Shoebridge, the Green Senator, did. No detail of where the flights went, which is how that original FOI is how we found out the $3.6 million figure for Richard Marles. So Mr Marles then confesses in his letter the guidelines he has been quoting in terms of not releasing the extra information have yet to be implemented and are only draft. It doesn't look remotely like transparency from the Deputy Prime Minister, and this is what Green Senator David Shoebridge pointed out this afternoon.
We have a Defence Minister who's had $3.6 million and counting of special purpose flights alone. He says that he's complied with the guidelines. Well, we now find out that the only guidelines in place are the 2013 guidelines, which require him to have 6 monthly reporting to the Parliament about where he went and who he took. He's never once complied with those guidelines. Minister Marles has not been telling the truth.